सुन्दरपादं साईपादं
सुन्दरपादं
सुन्दरपादं साईपादं
सुन्दरपादं साईपादं
पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं
पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं
पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं
पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं
सुन्दरपादं साईपादं
सुन्दरपादं साईपादं
नटराजनटनं साईपादं
नटराजनटनं साईपादं
नटराजनटनं साईपादं
नटराजनटनं साईपादं
श्रीकृष्णनर्तनं साईपादं श्रीकृष्णनर्तनं साईपादं भवदुःखहरणं साईपादं भवदुःखहरणं जगदोद्धारणं साईपादं जगदोद्धारणं साईपादं सुन्दरपादं साईपादं पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं सुन्दरपादं साईपादं नटराजनटनं साईपादं कृष्णनर्तनं साईपादं भवदुःखहरणं साईपादं जगदोद्धारणं साईपादं जगदोद्धारणं साईपादं सुन्दरपादं साईपादम्
नारायण हरि नाम भजो रे नारायण वेद पारायणा
नारायण हरि नाम भजो रे नारायण वेद पारायणा
नारायण हरि नाम भजो जनावना पावन चरणा पतित जनावना नारायण हरि नाम भजो रे नारायण वेद पारायणा करुणा भरणा भव भय हरणा पावन चरणा पतित जनावना पावन चरणा पतित जनावना नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण हरि नाम भजो रे नारायण वेद पारायणा
Offering our pranams to Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, guests and elders, dignitaries, Team Accenture, Team Rural Shores, staff and students, Sairam Namaste and a very good evening. We would first like to extend a warm welcome to our dignitaries seated on the dais. Padma Bhushan awardee Dr. Sunil Gavaskar, legendary Indian cricketer.
Dr. B.N. Narsimurthy, Chairman, Prashanti Bal Mandira Trust, and Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, Founder, One World, One Family Mission.
This evening, we are all gathered here to commemorate and celebrate the 15th anniversary of Rural Shores. Joining us this evening, we have one of Rural Shores' esteemed partners, Mr. Ajay Vij, Senior Country Managing Director, Accenture. A hearty welcome to you, sir. Rural Shores is the world's largest rural digital operations and impact sourcing enterprise, with 14 centers and 2 offices across 9 states in India. Inspired by Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba in the year 2008, the purpose of the mission is to bridge the urban-rural divide and bring employment opportunities to rural youth at their doorstep. By doing so, they have been successfully integrating rural talent in the global knowledge economy.
This pioneering work has generated a profound, quantifiable societal and economic impact. It has created over 22,000 direct careers and contributed to over 50,000 indirect jobs. These efforts have directly benefited more than 3 lakh family members and positively impacted over 170 rural communities.
People Shores, whose success was commemorated as part of the US Day's celebration, is a continuum of this idea and is based in the United States, creating employment opportunities for youth in America.
We now invite Mr. Murli Vulaganti, founder, Rural Shores and People Shores, to make the introductory remarks and share with us more about the company. Mr. Murli is an alumnus of IIT Kharagpur and BITS Pilani, with over 15 years of global experience on Wall Street, where he designed technology solutions for leading investment banks. He later moved to Singapore to develop the capital markets practice for a Fortune 500 firm across the Asia-Pacific region. In 2008, guided by Bhagwan Baba, he founded Rural Shores, and in 2017, under the guidance of Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, this initiative evolved into People Shores, expanding its impact across India and the United States. Mr. Murli, please.
Offering my humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba and our beloved Sadhguru Madhusudan Sai. Sai Ram and greetings to one and all. You all thought we had 100 days of birthday celebrations completed yesterday. Well, you are mistaken. The celebrations continues, and today we are celebrating another initiative of the humanitarian initiative of Bhagwan Baba, and which it is, as you know, last week when we had People Shows event, I mentioned to you that the background and the history of Rural Shows as well. It all started in 2008 by Bhagwan Sathya Sai Baba, who felt that he felt the need to bring economic activities in the rural communities in the form of creating a career-oriented opportunities for the rural youth, so that the rural youth do not migrate to the cities in search of jobs. So he's bringing the jobs to them rather than bringing them to the jobs. That was his idea, and inspired by him, he commanded me to do something on that front. So with his inspiration, we came up with this idea of bringing those IT, the evolution of the offshore into making to rural shores, bringing to the jobs to the shores of the rural communities. And started in 2008, and the very first center was set up in Bagyapalli, and Bhagwan Baba himself came to inaugurate the very first center, and he was continuing to guide in person till 2011, and in 2011 so happened we also celebrated the third year anniversary of Rural Shores, when we crossed 1,000 people, employing 1,000 people. We celebrated in Bagyapalli, and Deepak Parekh, whom you all met him, saw him 3 days ago here on very stage. He was the chief guest, and he flew in from Mumbai just for that, and was the chief guest along with Krish Gopal Krishnan and others. But is more than being a chief guest, it's actually the HDFC who invested, who's our first institutional investor in Rural Shores. It's all again by the grace of Baba. That institution has grown, Rural Shores. Then after Baba left his physical coil, so I kind of, like everybody else, most of us, became orphans and lost that guidance in the physical form. Me on my side, rather than going inside and feel him inside and continue to seek that guidance from inside, my mind and head became stronger, and that led to a lot of challenges. Then when we are in a stage where we thought we had to shut down the institution, then Sadhguru brought me back into his fold, and guided by Bhagwan, and made me realize all the mistakes I made, because I let my mind drive the mission, then I didn't let go, right? So that caused all the problems. So that was a big lesson for me, and that's Sadhguru opened my eyes and heart and made me realize and brought me that transformation in me that, you have to let go, let God in, right? And so there are so many transformations. Since then, RuralShores never looked back. Today, so happy to let you know that RuralShores is achieving the growth and sustenance. And so much so, it's not only creating impact in the community, in the communities through the employment, but is also contributing financially to the social initiatives, primarily in education and health, and reach the stage is all because of the grace of Sadhguru, and his guidance. With his guidance, we all realize what we need to do the right way and most ethical way, and it will continue to grow. And then again, the impact that is being creating is significant. Every job creates 3 other jobs as well. So providing the employment opportunities for the rural youth at their doorstep itself is a very impactful. On top of it, it's creating a multiplier effect through the indirect jobs, plus also the sustainable income that is able to provide to each person that we employ is actually uplifting the whole family as well. So the whole family is also positively impacted, and that's why the numbers that you just heard, we had in the last 15 years, we had created opportunities for more than 22,000 employees, rural youth across all these 14 centers. And if there's a multiplier effect of 3 jobs for every job we created, that means we created almost 70,000 jobs, including the indirect jobs. And then family of 5, that gets to 300 plus. And then there dozen communities, every center get affected positively through the economic stimulation. And that's times 15, 180, 200 communities have been, villages and communities have been affected positively. And so it's creating that kind of impact, in the communities, in the society, and particularly in the Bharat, rural India. And on top of it, it's not about jobs, and it's about creating a sustainable income for the people that we employ, but it's also how their lives have got transformed. Each individual has a story to tell, and we have from Bhagyapalli center, which is the nearest center, we have our associates gathered here as well. And every center, every one of them, today we employ more than 3,000 folks on our payroll. Everyone has a story. Every one of those 22,000 folks have a story to share. I just want to share one story though. Way back when we started the Bhagyapalli Center, when at that time, a year later, when we were celebrating the first anniversary, when I went there, I asked one girl there, how did this job? She joined in in the first job batch, and so he'd been here with us for a year, and I asked her, so what changes this job has brought to you and to your family? And she said, without any hesitation, now I can choose my husband, whom I want to marry. I was kind of puzzled because we know, it's everybody chooses the man, that at least to those urban folks, are educated and ones, we know that we all choose our own partner. I asked her, can you elaborate on this? She said, a year ago, my father was forcing me to marry a 60-year-old person because he borrowed money and he had a debt accrued debt to this person and could not pay. And as a result, the old man, to forgive the debt, he asked to give his daughter to him, to marry him. And his father is forcing her to marry this person. And it so happened, she came to know, and she was obviously helpless. As you know, in the rural India, in the rural parts, the young girls have the least voice, in the community. And when when she was helpless and was crying and came across one friend, she said, why don't you apply for this job? A company just started the center here, try there. She came and she applied and she got the job. After the 3rd month income, when the parents realized that, she's now, this job is real, and nobody could believe that this kind of jobs can come to these communities, And when they saw that study income coming home, then she gave that freedom to continue, and within a year she could able to earn enough to pay back that loan that father has taken to the person, and free. So today she says, now that we are not bound by this, I can marry anyone whom I want to. So that is the kind of stories that you hear every person that you touch or talk to in those communities. And again, it's Baba's Krupa, his grace, and Sadhguru's guidance is helping us to impact their lives, and that's also in the process we continue to transform ourselves. We need to ultimately achieve the goal set out by Swami to us, each one of us, which is the realization of ourselves, self-realization, and realize that we are divine, we are Brahman too. So that's the one thing. And one last point I want to make it is, once again, now they mentioned that we have our esteemed guest here, who from Accenture, country managing director. We have partnership with Accenture, is one of our major corporate partner. Started about 10 years ago, and we are able to build that relationship and continue to grow. And now we're going to expand further with Ajay's support and his team support. We're going to expand, and also we are setting up, as you know, at the Lotus Feet, we are setting up the 15th center of RuralShores right here, and we're going to set up a GenAI lab in partnership with Accenture, and we are grateful to Ajay for that as well, the kind of support that Accenture. The reason I'm mentioning is because without that kind of partnerships with the corporates, we cannot do this. It's needed in order to create those jobs. We need to get those jobs outsourced to us from the corporates. So they've taken the leap of faith in RuralShores model, an organization like Amazon, organization like HDFC Life, Bayer, Unilever, you name it. We have very premier logos supporting this, by giving the work and seeing the benefit of doing that with RuralShores. So we are confident that these relations would continue to grow and create more and more opportunities, and basically they're enabling us to create those opportunities in the communities. So again, thank you, Ajay, for your support and your team support, and so the last point I want to make is, you all heard of the fortune at the bottom of the pyramid, right? Great C.K. Prahlad's theory. It's basically meant for the corporates like Unilever and all to discover a new market in the rural areas by going there and creating products and to extract the fortune at the bottom of the pyramid. What RuralShores is doing is creating fortune for the bottom of the pyramid. That's the fundamental shift. So because we all heard of fortune at the bottom of the pyramid, and it's not about creating money and fortunes for them. It's whatever little they have, it's extracting that through selling, the marketing their products. So this is the fundamental difference. With that, I want to thank you all for the support. We have some, by the way, we have some alumni of RuralShores are working very actively in this organization here in this mission here in Muddenahalli. One of them is Govind Reddy, who is he worked in the formation years of RuralShores. Baba sent him to instill values in leadership team at RuralShores, and worked for 5 years before Sadhguru brought him here. So, and we also have Ramesh, who is involved here with the institution here as well, and the IT, I think he works with the IT department. So there are several of them who are alumni of RuralShores, and we take great pride in having them with us. With that, thank you very much, Sai Ram. Thank you, Sadhguru, for giving us the opportunity again.
We will now have a short video on the journey of Rural Shores.
Every journey is rooted in a vision. Ours began in 2008 with a simple mission to bring opportunities and dignity to rural India. For 16 years, Rural Shores has quietly worked to answer that question, bringing quality jobs, training and hope to the real Bharat. From one center in 2009, Rural Shores has grown to 15 centers, providing training and employment to more than 50,000 youth, creating value for close to 2 lakh family members and 200 rural communities. We work with young rural boys and girls, many first-generation earners stepping into the formal economy. For them, a job means dignity, identity, and possibility. Through the Skills Academy, we have trained and placed close to 1 million youth in customer support, digital operations, and Gen AI, preparing them for the future. But the real impact is not in the numbers, it's in our stories. A daughter once expected to stay home now supports her siblings' education and has the freedom to choose her life partner. A young man who thought he would have to migrate to a bigger city is now a manager serving a Fortune 500 client right in his village. Parents who once worried about daily wages now talk about careers, savings, and higher studies. Each Rural Shores payslip means more than income. It means better nutrition, timely school fees, and healthcare families can afford. Over time, we have touched more than 1 million lives, not just directly, but through the families and communities around each center. At the heart of this mission is the divine guidance and blessings of Sathya Sai Baba, who laid the foundation for Rural Shores, and Sadguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, revered successor of Baba, lovingly recognized as a true founder and guiding light of this mission and vision. Together, their wisdom and blessings illuminate the path, empowering Rural Shores with deep compassion and purpose. Sadguru also graciously guided and blessed the start of People Shores, extending the mission of empowerment across continents. Looking ahead, the next chapter is Scale with Soul, expanding our footprint, deepening skills, and unlocking digital and AI opportunities for rural youth. Our vision is clear: to enable rural India to participate fully, confidently, and proudly in the global digital economy.
रूरल शोर्स ने मेरी फैमिली को फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट करने के लिए मुझे स्ट्रेंथ प्रोवाइड की है।
रूरल सोर्स ने मुझे साहस दिया है जिससे मैं अपने लक्ष्य को आसानी से प्राप्त कर सकती हूँ। जब से मैंने रूरल सोर्स ज्वाइन किया हुआ है तब से मेरे आत्मविश्वास में काफी वृद्धि हुई है और मैं किसी भी व्यक्ति के सामने अपनी बात को सही ढंग से रख पाती हूँ।
This is not just Rural Shores story, it's the story of a new Bharat, where a village youth can dream, learn, earn, and lead without leaving home. We are Rural Shores, where opportunity meets rural potential, and where every job is a step towards Viksit Bharat.
As shared by Mr. Vuluganti just now, the impact of Rural Shores is in its powerful multiplier effect within local economies, proving that both purpose and profit can grow together. A critical component of this success model is the Rural Shores Skills Academy, which focuses specifically on empowering rural youth with sustainable, industry-relevant skills, ensuring a continuous pipeline of trained, high-quality talent.
3 youth who have been trained and employed at Rural Shores facility at Bagipalli will share with us the transformative impact on themselves and their families now. First, we have Ms. Jayalakshmi, a single parent who has completed 5 years at Rural Shores. She's an outstanding performer with experience in voice and back office. May we please invite Ms. Jayalakshmi.
ಸಾಯಿರಾಮ್. ಸತ್ಯಸಾಯಿ ಬಾಬಾರವರ ಪಾದಕಮಲಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ವಿನಮ್ರ ಪ್ರಣಾಮಗಳು. ಗುಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಜಯಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ. ನಾನು ರೂರಲ್ ಶೋರ್ಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ 5 ಇಯರ್ಸಿಂದ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ನಾನು ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ನಾನ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಹೊಂದಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇಂದು ರೂರಲ್ ಶೋರ್ಸ್ ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನದ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಬೀರಿದೆ ಎಂಬುದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದೆರಡು ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳಲು ಇಷ್ಟಪಡುತ್ತೇನೆ. ರೂರಲ್ ಶೋಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದರಿಂದ ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನ ತುಂಬ ಚೇತರಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಟೈಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಹಸ್ಬೆಂಡ್ನ ಕಳೆದುಕೊಂಡೆ. ಅಂದಿನಿಂದ ಕುಟುಂಬದ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಯನ್ನು ನಾನು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಲಾಯಿತು. ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ವಿದ್ಯಾಭ್ಯಾಸವನ್ನು ಮುಂದುವರಿಸಲು ಮತ್ತು ಕುಟುಂಬದ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಸುಧಾರಿಸಲು ರೂರಲ್ ಶೋಸ್ ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಅವಕಾಶ ಮತ್ತು ಆತ್ಮವಿಶ್ವಾಸವನ್ನು ನೀಡಿದೆ. ಈ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾತನಾಡಲು ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ವಂದನೆಗಳು. ಸಾಯಿರಾಮ್.
A brief translation of her talk. Jayalakshmi shared that she had lost her husband during the COVID period, and from that moment onwards, the responsibility of her entire family fell on her shoulders. It was a very challenging time for her, but joining Rural Shores brought a positive change to her life. Indeed, Rural Shore gave her the opportunity to support her children's education and to improve her family's overall situation. For this, she is truly grateful to Rural Shores for giving her strength, stability and hope when she needed it the most.
Next is Ms. Mamta. Next we have Ms. Mamta, also a single parent with 2 children. She too has completed 5 years with Rural Shores with experience in both voice and back office processes. Ms. Mamta, please.
ಸಾಯಿರಾಮ್. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಶ್ರೀ ಸತ್ಯ ಸಾಯಿ ಬಾಬಾ ಅವರ ಪಾದಗಳಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಹೃದಯಪೂರ್ವಕ ವಂದನೆಗಳು. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಮಮತಾ. ನಾನು ಇಂದು ರೂರಲ್ ಶೋಸ್ನ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರಯಾಣದ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಜೊತೆ ಹಂಚಿಕೊಳ್ಳಲು ಇಷ್ಟಪಡುತ್ತೇನೆ. ನಾನು 5 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ರೂರಲ್ ಶೋಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ನನಗೆ 2 ಮಕ್ಕಳು. ನಾನು ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೇನೆ. ನನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ನನ್ನ ಕುಟುಂಬದ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿಗಳನ್ನು ನಿಭಾಯಿಸಲು ಆ ರೂರಲ್ ಶೋಸ್ ನನಗೆ ಅವಕಾಶವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ನನಗೆ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷ್ನಲಿ, ಪರ್ಸ್ನಲಿ ಬೆಳೆಯಲು ಮತ್ತು ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಕೌಶಲ್ಯಗಳನ್ನು ಕಂಡುಕೊಳ್ಳಲು ವೇದಿಕೆಯಾಗಿದೆ. ರೂರಲ್ ಶೋಸ್ನ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್, ಮೋಟಿವೇಶನ್ ನನ್ನ ಜೀವನವನ್ನು ಸಂತೋಷದಿಂದ ಮುಂದುವರಿಸಲು ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಮತ್ತು ನನ್ನ ಆತ್ಮವಿಶ್ವಾಸದ ಜೀವನ ರೂಪಿಸಲು ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಈ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾತಾಡಲು ಅವಕಾಶ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
A brief translation of Ms. Mamta's talk. Ms. Mamta shared that as a single parent with 2 children, balancing work and family responsibilities was always challenging, but Rural Shores gave her the opportunity and the flexibility to manage both. Rural Shores helped her grow both professionally and personally, helping her to see the potential within herself with the support and guidance she received. Today, she has become a more confident and empowered person.
Our third speaker is Mr. Rajappa, a diligent, hard-working employee who has completed 16 years at Rural Shores. Mr. Rajappa, please.
సాయిరామ్. భగవాన్ శ్రీ సత్య సాయిబాబా దివ్య పాదములకు మరియు సద్గురు శ్రీ మధుసూదన సాయి స్వామివారి పాదములకు నా దివ్య నమస్కారములు. నా పేరు జి రాజప్ప. నాది శ్రీ సత్యసాయి జిల్లా చిలమత్తూరు మండలం పాదచానపల్లి గ్రామం. నేను 15 సంవత్సరాల నుంచి రూరల్ షోర్స్ కంపెనీలో జాబ్ చేస్తున్నాను. ఈ జాబ్ రావడం వల్ల నా ఫ్యామిలీకి చాలా యూజ్గా ఉంది. అండ్ ఈ జాబ్లో చేరడం వల్ల గుడ్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ స్కిల్స్ ప్రతి ఒక్కటి ఈ కంపెనీలో నేను నేర్చుకున్నాను. ఇక్కడ వచ్చి ప్రతి శాలరీ మా ఇంట్లో మా వైఫ్కి 2 times ఆపరేషన్ చేయించాను. సో ఫ్యామిలీ అంతా మొత్తం హ్యాపీగా ఉంది. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. సాయిరామ్స్.
A brief translation of the talk. Rajappa, for the last 16 years, has been commuting every day nearly 50 kilometers up and down from Andhra Pradesh. And what keeps him going is a culture of Rural Shores and the continuous encouragement given to the employees. He has been able to work there for so many years because of the strong support, motivation, and the financial stability with which he has also helped his wife undergo medical treatment to his family. This has been a great opportunity for rural youths like him.
Now may we request Mr. Tarun Singhal, the Group CEO of Rural Shores, to brief us on Gen AI, the future focus of Rural Shores. With distinguished experience at various corporates such as Mobile Systems International, CA Technologies, Oracle, Pirot Systems, HCL, and Soprasteria, Mr. Singhal's expertise encompasses a growth spectrum of international business and technology transformation. He is credited with building robust networks and trusted relationships across enterprises, channel partners, and industry bodies globally. Mr. Tarun Singhal, please.
Sai Ram, Namaskar, and good evening, everyone. Pranam at the lotus feet of Bhagwan Sathya Sai Baba, His Holiness Swamiji, Honorable Dr. B.N. Narasimha Murthy ji, Dr. Sunil Gavaskar ji, invited guests, colleagues, teachers, dearest students at the back, I love you all, and all of those watching us live globally. Over the last 2 years, generative AI has rapidly transitioned from an experimental technology to enterprise-grade adoption. Today, approximately 67% of enterprises prioritize adopting large language models, as in short form people say LLMs, and generative AI, with many already using it deeply across multiple functions, transforming how work is delivered, decisions are made, and organizations grow. This shift is redefining competitiveness across industries globally. At Rural Shores, we have embraced this change with clear conviction. The future of digital services must blend human expertise with Gen AI-driven augmentation. We firmly believe that rural talent, when empowered with the right tools and training, can deliver digital outcomes that compete on a global scale. We are adapting to the generative AI movement and using it as a catalyst to upgrade skills, expand capabilities, and bring innovation into our delivery model. I stand here as a proud manager to share that all our colleagues across 9 states and 14 rural centers are now Gen AI fundamentals certified through our own LMS platform powered by Rural Shores Skills Academy. This foundational step is key to how we scale and sets a new benchmark for capability building in rural India. With that, I am pleased to invite my colleague, Mr. Ravindra Satyanarayana, who is our head of generative AI practice, who will take us deeper into how Gen AI is shaping our transformation journey and the pathways we are building for the future. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagwan Sathya Sai Baba, Swamiji, Dr. Narasimha Murthy ji, and Sunil Gavaskar ji. Invited guests, colleagues, teachers, and students, it is truly my privilege to stand here today. And I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the Rural Shores management team for giving me this opportunity. After spending so many years in the corporate world, being part of this mission brings a different kind of satisfaction, a sense of purpose that touches lives and not just metrics. It is rare to find work that is intellectually stimulating, emotionally fulfilling, and socially meaningful all at the same time. There is a Sanskrit sloka, Sarve bhavantu sukinaha, Sarve santu niramaya, Sarve bhadrani pashyantu, Ma kaschit dukkha bhat bhavet. This means, may all be happy, may all be healthy, may all see goodness, and may no one suffer. This shloka reminds us that progress has meaning only when it includes everyone. As we step into a Gen AI powered future, our responsibility is not to create technology for few, but to create opportunities for many. Rural talent, when empowered with these right tools, deserves the same happipiness, health, dignity, and opportunity as anyone in the corporate world. This collective well-being is what RuralShores stands for, and this is the spirit with which we are embarking this journey. And as Tarun said, we are at a pivotal moment where Gen AI is reshaping industry after industry, domain after domain. It is influencing how the work gets done, how decisions are made, and how value is delivered. But what is more exciting is that this is not just what Gen AI can do, but what Gen AI enables when combined with the discipline, sincerity, and capability of our rural talent, our fantastic rural talent that we have. We are already seeing this in simple but high-value use cases. But RuralShores has a distinctive edge. And this is something very intrinsic. Our linguistic diversity and our natural ability to understand accents, dialects, and cultural nuances. As AI becomes voice first and vernacular first, this becomes a strategic advantage for us. Rural India does not need to learn how to sound natural. It is already natural. Gen AI amplifies this strength, allowing us to participate meaningfully in voice-based and multilingual digital services also. And how are we going to do this, right? So there are three main things that we are focusing on. First is capability creation. And as Tarun said, we are very proud to say that we are embarked on a journey to kind of on teaching, making learning is accessible to all our associates. In today's machine learning world, we want all our associates to be learning machines, right? So they should just not know Gen AI, but what we are trying to do is not just have them go through a learning path or a course, but we are teaching them with the tools that will enable them to perform and provide these services to our customers from rural India. Second step is what are we going to do as part of the Gen AI? We are not competing against industry giants or large service providers, but we want to amplify what can be collectively produced together. We want to kind of be partner with them to see that I think this can be done in the rural centers at very low cost. And obviously, this cannot be achieved without our ecosystem and partners, etc. So we are looking at with partners to see that I think how our partners, platforms, etc. can be incorporated in our ecosystem and have our rural youth trained on those platforms so that we can provide services very efficiently. And these three things is what is culminating into a Gen AI lab, which is going to come very soon in Muddenahalli, right? And this lab is not going to be just a physical space. It's going to be an engine of capability, experimentation, and co-creation. And we are going to kind of launch that very soon. To conclude, I want to leave you all with a shloka that I chant every day, right? Akasham patitam toyam yatha gacchati sagaram sarvadeva namaskaram keshavam pratigacchati. This means that just as every drop of water falling from the sky ultimately reaches ocean, every sincere effort that we make, every act of service, every step in empowering our rural youth, every attempt to use technology for good ultimately reaches Bhagwan. Nothing is wasted. No contribution is small. When our work is done with sincerity, compassion, and responsibility, it becomes an offering to divine. In the same way, the collective efforts of all our rural centers, our teams, and everyone involved in this mission flow towards a higher purpose. If what we do uplifts people, creates dignity, and expands opportunity, then it becomes pleasing to divine because it aligns with our dharma, our professional dharma. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ravindra. We will now have the Gift of Life ceremony. It is a tradition to celebrate those who have been given a new lease of life through timely medical care, advanced surgery, and compassionate service at our hospitals.
We will now have the Gift of Life ceremony for 3 patients who have been blessed with the necessary health interventions at our hospital. For this, may we invite on stage Mr. Ajay Vij, Senior Country Managing Director of Accenture India, and Mr. G. Srinivasan, co-founder of RuralShores.
Our first beneficiary patient is Syed Umar Ullah. He is 1 year old and was diagnosed with atrial septal defect, ventricular septal defect, and patent ductus arteriosus at birth. His father is a fruit seller in Gauri Bidnoor and felt helpless to save his child. Luckily, they learnt about the free treatment offered here, and on the 19th, Syed underwent surgical closure of ASD, VSD along with PDA ligation at our hospital. Since then, his post-operative recovery has been smooth and he is clinically stable. He will soon be discharged as a healthy baby with a new lease of life.
Next is 4-year-old Charvi Gowda, who hails from Chikbalapur. Her father, Mr. Shivraj, is a driver, and her mother, Kavya, is a homemaker with a family income of just 20,000 rupees a month. 2 years ago, she was diagnosed with VSD and PDA and initially received treatment at Jayadeva Hospital. However, within months, Charvi required re-surgery and advanced procedures, which were quite risky. Luckily, they visited our hospital where she underwent the required surgical management. She underwent VSD closure and PDA ligation on 28th November. Her post-operative recovery has been smooth and she is currently doing very well.
Next, we have Master Likith Gowda, who was born with a hearing and speech disability. His father is a teacher with a monthly income of 15,000 rupees and therefore found it very difficult to afford treatment for his son. Last year, he underwent cochlear implantation surgery at our hospital, and following the procedure and subsequent rehabilitation, Likith's life has now taken a complete U-turn. Once shy and unable to express himself, he can now converse using a few words, comprehend stories, short rhymes and prayer songs, and is able to attend regular school, demonstrating good progress in speech and auditory skills.
Now, RuralShores extends a token of gratitude and appreciation to all associates who have been with the organization for more than 15 years in corporate office at the Bagipalli Center. As we call out the names, may we please request you to come on the dais. Ms. Geeta S. Ms. Saumya N. Mr. Maharaja Gokulvasan.
Mr. Madhu A. Mr. Madhu A. Mr. Nagaraja K. Mr. Rajappa Ji. Mr. Adinarayanan N.
May we now request all the associates to kindly come forward on stage for a group photograph. We will now have a short video on the Gen AI journey.
All right, today we're talking about something that completely flips the script on where tech innovation is supposed to happen. Forget the giant, bustling megacities. We're heading out to the heart of rural India.
So let's just jump right in with a pretty wild question. When you think tech hub, what comes to mind? Probably Silicon Valley, right? Or maybe Bangalore. But what if the next big tech hub wasn't a city at all, but a village?
And look, this isn't just some far-off pie-in-the-sky idea. There's actually a company out there that's been doing this for years. They've already proven that you can build a thriving tech business way outside of the usual city limits.
That company is RuralShores, and their whole mission is, honestly, pretty amazing. For years, they've been providing digital services and back-office support for big clients. But here's the twist. They do it by hiring people directly from rural villages. We're talking about creating real, sustainable careers right where people live. Okay, so things have been going great, but now there's a new player on the field that's changing everything. It's a huge challenge, but it's also a massive opportunity. Yep, we're talking about generative AI.
You know, GNI is really a double-edged sword here. On one side, you've got the risk, right? The fear that it could just automate away a ton of those back-end jobs. But on the other side, it could also create a whole new world of employment. So the big question becomes, what do you do?
And this is the part I love. Instead of being scared of this disruption, RuralShores is doing the exact opposite. They're not just embracing it, they're running headfirst into it. They see Gen AI not as a threat, but as a rocket booster for their entire mission.
So what's the plan? Well, it's all about using AI in a way that doesn't just kick people out of a job. Instead, it's about empowering them, building a future where technology actually includes more people, not fewer. So let's look at their blueprint. Step 1, they're setting up a Gen AI studio and lab, right in a village called Muddenahalli. Step 2 is all about training the local youth, getting them skilled up on these new AI tools. And step 3, this is the magic right here, is all about combining that amazing human creativity with the raw power of AI.
And the goals here are what make this so brilliant. This isn't just about protecting old jobs. It's about inventing brand new ones. Think about it. Who better to train an AI on local languages and dialects than the people who actually speak them? We're talking about creating human-in-the-loop services, where local knowledge is not just helpful, it's absolutely critical. They're not just giving people jobs, they're building a specialized, highly valuable workforce that you can't find anywhere else. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly sums up their whole approach. This isn't about chasing the latest tech fad. It's about using Gen AI as a tool to unlock human potential, to create opportunities that were unimaginable a few years ago. And most importantly, it keeps people right at the heart of it all. And that really leaves us with a huge final question to think about. As AI gets more and more powerful, what does the future of work look like? Could this RuralShores model, taking tech to the people, focusing on unique human skills and flipping a threat into an opportunity, could this be the blueprint for a better, more inclusive future for all of us, not just in one village in India, but globally?
The leadership team of Rural Shores would now like to offer memorabilia to our dignitaries on the stage. We now pray to Sadhguru for his benedictory message.
Before that, we invite Mr. Sunil Gavaskar to address all of us this evening, please.
With my humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, humble pranams at the holy feet of our inspiration, our guiding force, our mentor, Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai Ji. Om Sai Ram to all of you, and with special respects to Sri Narasimhamurthy Ji as well. As an opening batsman, former opening batsman, I've often been sent in to bat, not knowing anything about what the pitch is going to be, how the ball is going to move after pitching, the new ball. Is it going to bounce? Is it going to keep low? Is it going to come in? Is it going to leave? And the overcast conditions also sometimes can determine how the pitch will behave and how the ball will move after landing. But as an opening bat, you steel yourself at the initial stages when you could be all at sea and the ball is bouncing and you're just playing and missing, or the ball is hitting you on the pads, hitting you on the gloves, hitting you on the chest maybe, and you're looking as a batter completely inadequate. You're looking very ordinary, you don't know what is happening, and everybody is wondering, what are you doing down there? It's a similar kind of situation for me here now at the moment. Speaking about tech, now, I know a lot of people have called me a technically good batter, but that's fine. But this is a different kind of tech. And I have to say that while I am not tech savvy, I'm very aware of the wonderful work that is being done by People Shores and Rural Shores. We have ourselves seen just now the difference it has made in the lives of some who came and addressed us and told how Rural Shores made a difference to their lives. And I think this is the thing. This is the essence of what the game of cricket teaches us. What the game of cricket teaches us is that to be successful as a team, everybody has to come together. If I, as a batsman, want to score a century, I also need the batsman at the other end to be able to bat along with me, ride the rough times, take a bowler which is giving me problems, play him more than I play him. If I am going to get a century, then I also, when if 5, 7 wickets are down, when the bowlers come into bat, numbers 9, 10, 11, who are not very good batsmen, if they come into bat, it is for me to shepherd them, to shelter them, for me to take more of the bowling and knock the runs once, twos maybe, and make sure that they bat maybe one ball in and over. And that's how get to my own century and help the team to score more runs. As a bowler also, you need another bowler at the other end to keep the pressure on. You need the fielders to take the catches. You need the fielders to stop the runs being given. And so it is teamwork. But more importantly, from what I told you about being a batter, is what it tells you is that if I as a batter want some individual success of a century against my name, then I need to look after the lesser talented, lesser endowed batter. And that is what society should be. That we who are, with God's grace, a little more endowed, a little more talented, we must look after the others. And that is what RuralShores is looking to do. And that is why for me to be standing here and speaking about RuralShores gives me great pleasure. Because I can sense a cricketing connection in this. I can see how teamwork is making the lives of so many people that much more better. All this with the guidance of Sadhguru and the blessings of our Bhagwan. And all I can say to RuralShores and PeopleShores, to Murli, to Accenture, who have been such wonderful, wonderful supporters, please, please keep on the good work, keep on batting for the goodness of this world. Om Sai Ram.
Sunilji, technically or technologically or not, you always speak from the heart, and we absolutely love you for that. That was such a heartfelt talk to all of us and inspiration to everyone. Thank you once again. Now may we please pray to Sadhguru to bless us all with his benedictory message.
न त्वहं कामये राज्यं न स्वर्गं न पुनर्भवं कामये दुःखतप्तानां प्राणिनां आर्तिनाशनम. This was a prayer made by a great king by name Rantideva, whose story appears in Mahabharata. When his kingdom went through terrible times, because the gods wanted to test his generosity and a sense of sacrifice, they sent calamities his way. Drought, famine, earthquakes, diseases, name it, and the kingdom had it. He opened his granaries to serve his people. He gave away all that he had as the king for the sake of the people. And when nothing was working and he had nothing left, he himself went on an indefinite fast till he could provide for his people, to propitiate the gods for their mercy. And he went on doing his tapas without eating and drinking. And finally, after the stipulated period of his prayers, when they ended, he was about to put a morsel of food in his mouth when one of the gods, to test his sense of sacrifice, appeared as a beggar and pleaded that he had not eaten for days, so he needed some food. And immediately Rantideva gave away his food to that beggar. And then, as he was about to drink a little of water that he had, that was all that was left, gods appeared again in the disguise of a thirsty and sick man. And he gave away that water also to the person. He had nothing for himself. And that's when the gods were pleased, it seems. And they asked him, "What do you want? We are so pleased with your sacrifice, with your sense of duty towards your people." And he prayed this way, "Natvaham kamaye rajyam." I do not desire for a kingdom. Na swargam, nor heavens after I die. Na punarbhavam, nor liberation due to the merits of this life. But all that I wish for and ask you for is kamaye dukkha taptanam praninam arti nashanam. I pray to you to give me the strength to wipe away the sorrows and sufferings of those who are grief-stricken. That's all I ask you for. And that prayer remains with me and remains with so many people around the world as the most selfless prayer that anyone can make. While we work for ourselves, we want to rule kingdoms, or after we die, we want to go to the heaven, or even when we are more spiritually evolved, we seek liberation from the cycles of birth and death. But none of this was Rantideva's ask. He only asked for more strength, more abilities, more capacity to help the people who were in need. Everything that we do, it is towards this one goal, how to help people in more ways. Yes, there are people who need education, they need to be educated. There are people who are sick, they need to be treated. They are hungry, they need to be fed. But then there are so many out there who are neither sick nor uneducated nor hungry, but they need a livelihood. They need dignity of life. They need some financial stability and security. They need to fulfill their destiny through the talents and skills that they have. And so, while education, health, nutrition, these seem to be the more kinder or compassionate missions, giving people the ability to stand on their own two feet and look after themselves is equally a powerful seva, if not more. And RuralShores for the last 15 years, through the ups and downs, has sustained itself, scaled, and provided this kind of opportunity to so many rural youths, boys and girls, young men and women, who are able to live a life of dignity. They don't have to stretch their arms in front of anyone, and they don't have to compromise on their dignity like in the stories we heard. And that is because of this tremendous effort that has been made by Murli and team of RuralShores. I want to convey my heartiest blessings and best wishes to all of them who have been a part of this amazing mission. Thanks to many partners, corporate partners like Accenture, Mr. Ajay who is here, and their support, because without them this won't work. And sharing their work with us and helping employ more people as a part of our RuralShores and PeopleShores in the US. This is a great service. And that service is helping so many families live happily. The children are going to school. If there is an emergency of health or other kinds, they are able to take care of it. They are able to lead their lives with their heads held high. And they are able to create more opportunities for more people, because when one center succeeds, it leads to the opening of the next one. And that's how more people get included. That is the seva that is being done. I'm very pleased with that. I have been tracking that for some years now. Of course, it was seeded by Bhagavan, who thought that rural youth should have an opportunity at their doorstep. They shouldn't migrate from villages to the towns and do odd chores just to sustain themselves, while their parents and their children and their loved ones are left behind to fend for themselves. That should not be the way, because that would destroy the very social and cultural fabric of this country, which lives in its villages. That was the idea with which he promoted this. Murli, lock, stock and barrel, shifted, did what he needed to do, and joined by many of his kind, Srinivasan and others. And now, of course, Tarun Singhal has joined as the group CEO. And all of them have been supported by people like Accenture and so many other names that we heard. But at the end, all of this is for what sake? Not for the sake of profiteering out of leveraging and opportunities of economic leverages, no. It is because this helps people live a better life, especially in the most vulnerable communities, who are just one disaster away, one calamity away from bankruptcy and absolute poverty. So these are the places where the organization is making an impact, and celebrating 15 years of this journey is truly heartening. And what more, the 15th center with the most modern technology of generative AI is coming up right here in Muddenahalli, in the hometown birthplace of Sir M. Vishweshwaraya, the great engineer of India, who built a strong and sustainable Bharat. I'm sure if he was around, he would have been very proud of whatever is happening in his village. I'm told that he was born just across the road in a very poor family, and he did not even have money to pay for the bus fare to go to Bangalore to study or write his exam. He would walk many times. And that man went on to build some of the best infrastructure of the country. And that has helped sustain livelihoods across Karnataka, especially after the KRS dam was built and the water was channelized through canals across the fields. So much prosperity followed thereafter. Wonderful man. In his village, a tech center coming up, because he was an engineer, he surely would have appreciated what is being done. And I think we would dedicate this center to Sri M. Vishweshwaraya for his kind contributions to our country. We were to open this center. We were to open this center during the 100th birthday celebrations, and we tried constructing it as quickly as we could, but then there were rains and there were so many other things, plus we had too much on our plate already. So then the RuralShores said, let us have a soft mention of it now, but we will revisit it. In a couple of weeks from now, it will be ready to start our work, and it's on the campus. It's on the campus of the university, which gives opportunities for the rural kids who study in our university to learn some of the latest technologies that are happening around the world. And I'm sure it will greatly benefit all the rural children here, and through these technologies, we can bring transformative impact in rural geographies. They also need technology support just as the urban populace does. So I'm sure this will also work with our university to produce newer programs, research initiatives, and also will work with our medical college to bring medical technologies to the rural doorsteps. And we are more than happy to support it in whatever way we can to enable this cause of empowering our rural youths through digital transformative technologies. Sunil Gavaskar ji, though he says he does not know the technology or technicals of technology, but look at him, he's so good at presenting and articulating what he has to do, because his inspiration was sitting right in front of him, his wife, and words just flowed. There is a woman behind every successful man, that they say. And he spoke so well, and the beautiful thought that he brought out about this relationship of symbiosis in a society. When you are endowed with God's grace or with whatever merits of the past, or with just because of the better opportunities, with more than the next person, it becomes your moral obligation to look after them, to support them, to help them also grow and thrive. It's not just about you and your century, it's also about the other person and the team that needs to win the match. And this kindness, this concern, this compassion truly defines humanity. And whether it is on the field of cricket, or in a technology setup like RuralShores, or in a charity setup like ours, or in a corporate setup like Accenture, the fundamental value remains the same: to be concerned about each other, to see to that the next person also is able to grow and thrive with you. And you have to go out to do that for them. Because once you set this as the new culture, new paradigm, that person who has benefited from your kindness would go out and show that kindness to somebody else in need tomorrow. And this is how a chain reaction is set in motion. And before you even realize, the world is transformed. So I am so happy that this is happening, and this is happening right here at our institution, and new RuralShores Center is coming up. We also heard a lot of stories from the associates who came here, and where they were very heart-touching, especially when I think of women in rural India. it truly breaks my heart to know when they do not get equal opportunities or a voice to say what they need to do. They are not heard, they are not visible. But this makes them economic empowerment, makes them have a voice, have a say in things, and choose their destiny and not be forced to follow somebody else's desires and wishes. That is very, very, very heartening. I know the struggles of women, and the world is not equal even in today's times. They do not get equal representation. The other day when some policymaker was here, they were talking about Viksit Bharat and whatever trillions of dollars of GDP by then, 27, 28 trillions or whichever way. I told them, if you think of the women of our country, they work so hard in the fields, in the shops, in the informal sector, raise the family. Suppose they were all paid a salary. Per child you will get so much for birthing a child and raising a child. And you will be given so much for cooking every day and cleaning the house and keeping the house together. And you will be recognized for your services to the community, to the temples, to the organizations around, and the kindness that you show to the elders in the family. If all these could be in some way tangibilized, economized, or in a way monetized, then I'm sure our GDP will be more than double than of what it is today. American GDP high is because lot of women get paid for what they do. India, it does not happen like that. The 50% of India which is women, not all of them get represented in the economy. But Rural Shores is somehow doing that, while these women are doing their household chores for which they don't expect also to be paid. But they are also able to spend some time to raise their family. I remember Amma was working very hard to raise 3 of us, which was not easy. We were very demanding. Because we used to go to a good school where people used to come from rich families too. And we used to look at them and say, oh, they have this, we do not have it. They have these shoes, those watches, that kind of bag, this kind of books, and why don't we have that? It was a constant pressure on smaller families to fulfill the demands of children. Even though we studied in a good school like Kendriya Vidyalaya, which was not like very premium, but very good quality government schools. However, that pressure was always there. And I remember to get a 300 rupees increment in her salary, she did another post-graduation at the age of 40, 45 or something like that, just to get 300 rupees more. So that would make a difference to a small family like ours. So I know how hard people have to struggle to just earn that next rupee, especially in a small town or a village. But Rural Shores is taking that job opportunity to people, not just in towns, in the rural areas, where they bring all the infrastructure, all the training, all the job opportunities, skill them, and enable them to do that job. And when they grow, they let them go to find newer, greener pastures. They don't hold them back. That becomes like a springboard, which keeps on launching people into better life than what they already have. And that's very selfless. That's very selfless. And the same thing I've seen in people shows in the youth. I've heard the stories, they were heart-wrenching. The things that people do to just make the two ends meet, especially immigrants and those vulnerable minority communities. It is heart-wrenching. But today, I'm not saying we can solve all the problems of the world. But in our own little way, we are lighting a lamp to fight the darkness. And seeing to that it is burning brighter day after day. That's a contribution, and I'm sure somebody will be inspired by this and borrow this flame and light another lamp in some other rural geography and bring so many more people in the light of that kindness. And that is how it will spread and the world will become better. That's Bhagavan's inspiration. He always said, the only thing that will sustain and help the society survive is compassion and kindness, nothing else. Money will not help, power will not help. All the influence that we can exert on each other will not help. It is only kindness that is going to sustain the societies. And that kindness is happening through Rural Shores and so many other initiatives. I'm really looking forward to the center coming up over here. And hopefully someday this should become the head office, the main office of Rural Shores in Muddenahalli, Murli. You should work towards that. That you operate out of this village of Vishweshwaraya and take this technology to the whole country and even beyond the shores of the country. And I'm sure these two organizations will make a huge impact and create examples and models of scale and sustenance of financial viability for the people of the world. And we met so many of them from Africa, from Latin America, from Southeast Asia, from the Pacific Island nations, from Caribbean, All of them were impressed by this model. They said, we also need it. We have so many youngsters just doing nothing. And when they do nothing, they end up with doing wrong things. So before that, we should help them. So whichever way we can help them, we are more than committed and dedicated to that. And as Murli said, our celebrations never end. With Bhagwan, life is an unending celebration. Yesterday we thought we ended and I switched off my mind saying, I'm done, 100 years, 100 days, 100 cultures, whatever, Guinness records, all that is done. So it's like a boy whose examination is over. Next day he hates books if he sees books. So my situation this morning was like that. I had mentally switched off. I said, my examination is over. I worked hard. I've done well. And I'm not going to touch these books for the next few days. But there Murli and his ideas, he brings more celebrations in. But I'm happy because this is helping people. As I said, Kamaye dukkha taptanam praninam arti nashanam. The only desire is to help people who are suffering, to overcome that, to help them take charge, take control of their life and destiny in some way, in small little way. And probably in this hall and through this hall and through this function, so many who are watching, I want to convey, your next big 5-star dinner could be so powerful that the amount that you spend on that big one lavish 5-star dinner could make a difference of life and death for a farmer tonight who is just contemplating suicide because he couldn't repay some 40,000, 50,000 rupees of debt. That little luxury that you next time want to exercise by buying a better watch or a gift or a bag or something, that could define who this young girl of 16 is going to get married to because the father could not repay his debts. That little extra that you casually, in a way carelessly spend, that could define whether today that boy or girl will drop out from the school or continue her education. That little amount that you kindly contribute to a cause can ensure that there is food on people's plate and there is health when they are sick. So let us continue to make a difference. I'm not saying we can become the sun, but little lamps, as the song says, Suraj na ban paye to ban ke deepak jalta chal. फूल मिले या अंगारे सच की राह पे चलता चल. प्यार दिलों को देता है, अश्कों को दामन देता है, जीना उसका जीना है जो औरों को जीवन देता है. So that is our life, to keep giving life to others. Continue doing good, that's all is the message. In good lies God. Continue doing that little incremental good every day, more than what you did yesterday, and I think you will become a better human being, the world will become a better place, and above all, Bhagwan will be very, very happy, because he is happy when people are happy. And I'll just close with this, because this just occurred to me. When the Grama Seva started, rural service started, I was a student that time, I was sitting in the audience, and Bhagwan suddenly gave a discourse. He said, we are going to start rural service program. All children have to go to the villages and take food and clothes for every family and greet them with love and treat them like a family. That was a new program, unheard of, suddenly launched. Then he clarified that when he was reading newspaper in the morning, he came across the story of a woman in a village who poisoned all her children and herself because she could not feed them the next meal. She did not have the money to do it, the means to do it. And she poisoned herself and her children. And that kind of troubled Bhagwan so much that the next day he came and announced there is going to be a Grama Seva. And I wondered, by going to these villages for 1 day a year, or 10 days, let us say, in a year, and giving them food and clothes, how is it going to transform the villages? How is it going to solve the problem of that mother? As a student, I thought like that, but today I understand, he was not trying to change the villages, he was trying to change me and you. Sensitize us to the need of the villages and the problems that they face, and make us transform ourselves and commit ourselves to doing good to these people in the villages. And that is why he sent us for that Grama Seva. It was not to feed and clothe or treat them. That we couldn't have done in a span of a week or 10 days in a year. But what he did was that he was sowing the seeds of inspiration in young hearts of students and the staff, so that when they grow up and they are capable of doing more, they will go back to these people and help them. So when I heard of Rural Shores, and it was going through a difficult time at that point in time, and Bhagavan told me that you need to speak to these people, call them over, or we will go over there and do something about it. And then he truly steered the ship out of that stormy weather. And today it is scaling and growing to newer heights. And I wish that in every village, every child, every youth has the opportunity, economic opportunity to do well in life. And if Rural Shores can be that transformative model to help every youth realize his or her potential, I think we would have fulfilled Bhagavan's vision that no mother or father needs to take such drastic, extreme steps along with the children, because they cannot afford another meal. And we cannot live in a world like this. We have to do something about it. That is what he taught me. That's what I'm teaching you. And I hope through you, thousands and thousands of more will learn and do. I wish everybody the very best, and especially the team, board members, the leadership team, and all the wonderful associates from Bagepalli. I hope you understand English, right? Andarku arthamautundi kada. Bagepalli దూరం కాదు, నేను కూడా ఎప్పుడైనా వస్తాను. I will come sometime soon to Bagepalli, to your center, and meet all of you. మీరు కూడా ఏదైనా కావాలంటే ఇక్కడికి రండి. హాస్పిటల్ ఉంది, ఊరికి ఇక్కడ పోయి ఖర్చు చేయకండి. Don't waste your money going here and there to other hospitals. Just an hour from there you can come, and there is a Sai Swasthya center in Bagepalli town now. And that also you can utilize for any health services. అందరికి కూడా చెప్పండి. Those others who do not know, go and tell them about it, so they don't go and land up in the clutches of these terrible corporate healthcare people. The రెండు రోజుల ముందర ఒక స్టోరీ నేను విన్నాను, మన వాళ్ళు చెప్పారు. CTVS people told me a story. This man went to some hospital in Bangalore, poor man from a village. He had a chest pain. They told, we'll do an angio for you. They asked him for 28,000 rupees to just do an angiogram. And poor man's wife somehow got that money, gave. They did the angio. And then they told him, you need to have a stent. Stents are put when your heart arteries are blocked. So they told you need to have to put a stent. And they told 2 lakh rupees or some price they gave him, saying that you must get that, you have to do it quickly, otherwise you may not survive. This man had no means, his wife had no means. They said, please excuse us, we have to talk to so many people, borrow, beg, do not know what we need to do to get this money to do that. But therefore, please discharge us, we will go back and find the money and then come back to you. And these people said, okay, all right. Then he said, please give me the reports that I have a block or whatever, the CD of the angiogram and things like that. They did not give him. They made him go round and round, but they never released the CD of the diagnostics. Anyway, somehow his good fortune, he found about us, came over here, we did that. He needed no stent at all. Can you believe that? That was some muscular issue and he was facing, which could have been easily treated with medications. But the way corporate hospitals have turned out to be, they've become so greedy that for an unlettered, uneducated, incapable person, they just tell lies that we will put a stent because you need a stent, because he doesn't understand this chest pain from the other one. And imagine they might have even put a stent in him unnecessarily. That's a big scandal going around. People have died on tables because they were forced to go through procedures that they never needed. In this scenario, we stand to fight, and I want to tell that Rural Shores has supported the building of the medical college and also the new hospital through their corporate social responsibility. And so we also want to do something in return. And all the Rural Shores employees, please issue them our medical cards so that anytime they need any help, they can call up that toll-free number is there, our call center number. Shobana ji, please look after that. So anybody, there is a special hotline for Rural Shores employees and their families. They can call that number, get an appointment quickly. They don't have to stand in long queues of the OPD. There will be a green corridor for them to quickly access the healthcare at no charge whatsoever. That's the additional benefit of being in Rural Shores. So when we open the AI center, please issue the cards. By the time you please get all the data of all the children, all the employees, and prepare their personalized health cards, and make sure that by the time the center opens, that may be in a month's time or so, the cards are ready for everybody so they can access our health, even from Sikkim as far as wherever they are. They can call in and they can come if they need an emergency, but at least get a consultation from an honest organization before you decide to do anything with your health under pressure from these highly corporatized hospitals. Please at least call up and find out Is it really necessary to go through that procedure? At least our doctors will give you an honest opinion. So please do that, and that will help you. That number will be an exclusive line for Rural Shores employees and associates and all the family members. So with these words and lot of blessings, as I said, my joy is to do good, more good in Swami's name. Every year we can increase the good. I'm sure we bring him to those many homes and hearts, and that is our joy, to spread his love to everybody around the world. And that's happening. I can see that's happening. But with all of you together, we can do it much faster and much more. A lot of blessings to everybody. A special blessings to Sunil ji for that wonderful thought that he brought into our hearts, society, and looking after the vulnerable as our moral duty. So very, very happy for that. Thank you to Mr. Ajay for coming here and being a part of it, and all our Rural Shores team, board and management, and all our wonderful devotees and associates who are sitting here. I don't know what is next tomorrow. I'm sure there is something planned, but I will live one day at a time. May these celebrations never end. That is how it should be. Lot of blessings to everyone.
सर्वसुगुण सिंधवे सकल सुजन बंधवे सर्वसुगुण सिंधवे सकल सुजन बंधवे गुरवे मधुसूदनाय मह्यमंगलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय मह्यमंगलम् दीनदुःखित पोषकाय दान धर्म प्रेरकाय दीनदुःखित पोषकाय दान धर्म प्रेरकाय सर्वलोकहितरकाय सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय मह्यमंगलम् वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय ब्रह्मज्ञानबोधकाय दिव्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय मह्यमङ्गलम् सत्यसायिन प्रियाय सत्यप्रेम सत्यसायिन प्रियाय सत्यप्रेम नित्यशुद्ध निर्मलाय नित्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय दिव्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्तजना संरक्षक भक्तजना संरक्षक भक्तिमहेश्वर ॐ जय जगदीश हरे जय शिवगणा श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आपद्बान्धवा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे माता पिता गुरुदैवं मय्यन्तयो नीवे स्वामी मय्यन्तयो नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नागेन्द्राशयन ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी साई महादेव सद्गुरु साई महादेवा मंगलारति अंधुको मंगलारति अंधुको मंगल गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण जय सद्गुरुदेवा
शांति 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 समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु शांति 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 जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय जय बोलो सद्गुरु श्री मधुसूदन साई जी की जय